There we go.
The attack. So to see Glamrock
Oh!
missing her beak,
I never noticed that! Holy shoot,
Matt!
I'm so shocked right now. That is so weird where I noticed that. Holy shoot, I was never expecting this.
I can't believe you!
Oh yes, baby! Game Fury uploaded yet another 5 Nights at Freddy's Fury. Oh, I'm so excited for this, but I don't know why. Because it's about security breach. And that game has been delayed for way too long, man. I have no idea when it's gonna come out, but hopefully soon. And since this is going to be about it, I cannot wait to watch it. Now, security breach, like, if you have watched the trailer, you can tell that it's not gonna be like the normal, typical 5 Nights at Freddy's game. It's gonna be way different and much better. Also, like and subscribe and activate that beautiful bell for more high quality and edited reaction videos like these. Yeah, congratulations. Not bad. 10 years, that is a big milestone actually.
Hello Internet, welcome to Game Theory, gaming's tangential learning experience. In the past few months, we've gotten a lot of new FNAF content. A gameplay trailer for Security Breach dropped, 2 new books that I haven't talked about yet, and there was even a bunch of images from the game revealed as part of a charity stream. And sometimes, dear Weboverse, you have ideas, random thoughts that are floating around your head, but not enough to make a full theory out of. Maybe enough for a game hypothesis perhaps, but not so much for a fully fledged theory. So today I'm gonna nab those little theory nuggets hovering around my head.
Why is he using such an old photo of himself?
For you to munch on. In true Fazbear
Please do.
fashion,
We have waited for way too long, I think.
I
think I can speak for all of us if I say that.
expect that we'll see in the game and where the franchise might be headed next. Because I think
Yo, this type of editing reminds me of my videos editing. Because he says exactly the same things he's showing images of the things that he's saying. The equivalence rather.
And might already be giving us clues as to life after the
Is that from
breach.
Mafia?
So without any further ado, hop aboard, friendos, because this theory train is about to leave the station. Woo, woo.
Can't wait.
Theory number 1, the Glamrocks are secretly toy animatronics. Recently, my good friend Dawko held a 24-hour charity stream benefiting the World Wildlife Fund, which, first off, congratulations to him.
I think my mouse is acting up today. I have to put it on top of its head.
Different donation milestone goals, he was able to unlock screenshots from the upcoming security breach
What the
game,
frick?
which by the end amounted to 20 images in total. And while most of them are just better angles of places that we saw in the recent gameplay trailer, there were a few that had details that really stood out. First was confirmation that Bonnie appears to be in the game in the form of Bonnie Bowl. Whether Bonnie is physically
my mouse was acting up, so I had to unplug it.
Reference is unclear, but it's a huge detail because
Bonnie, the old Bonnie,
has been absent from all the imagery of the Glamrock animatronics, seemingly replaced by the newcomer Montgomery Gator. It had led everyone, myself included, to think that the game was just pulling a sister location, where, if you'll remember, Chica was actually absent from the Funtime lineup.
And I didn't even care. I mean, no offense. Oh, now I see what's happening. Okay. There was a cable. Gosh dang it, I'm missing the Fury.
Better angles of places that we saw in the recent gameplay trailer.
It looks so cool.
Details that really stood out. First was
and I love the way Freddy looks.
In the game in the form of Bonnie Bowl. Whether Bonnie is physically in the game or if this is just
hopefully Bonnie is, man. He's one of the scariest ones.
Bonnie has been absent from all the imagery of the Glamrock animatronics, seemingly replaced by the newcomer Montgomery Gator. It had led everyone, myself included,
what kind of name is that?
Was just pulling the sister location, where, if you'll remember, Chica was actually absent from the Funtime lineup, replaced by new characters like Baby and Ballora. But no, Bonnie is here at the Pizzaplex.
But I never was a die-hard, hardcore Chica fan.
How dare you!
To really remorse on her absence.
And we'll get back to that in a minute. Other interesting shots included a view from what appears to be inside of Montgomery.
Sorry, what did he say?
But no, Bonnie is here at the Pizzaplex. If not physically, then at the very least from a lore perspective, leaving the only missing face from the core
Foxy.
To be Foxy.
Okay.
And we'll get back to that in a minute. Other interesting
get back
shots
to it now.
included a view from what appears to be inside of Montgomery Gator's mouth. And while this certainly could be a walkway to a different part of his Gator Golf section of the restaurant, considering we see decorative heads on the walls and different.
I want to play this game. I want to play this game so bad.
line up for me. It feels
Can you actually free roam in this restaurant?
Have humans walking through it like they'd be walking through a golf course. Instead, and admittedly this is a bit of a long shot, could this be an indication that we're actually going to be riding inside of Monty at some point in this
Hopefully.
game? It might seem outlandish, but it actually fits with what's already been leaked out about this title. In case you weren't aware, Funko Pop leaked out this statue of security.
They did!
Where we see our
They were so reckless of them. By the way, is Gregory a female or a male? I don't even know. I don't live in America, sorry.
Freddy himself will be working alongside us to survive against Vanny the Killer Rabbit. So why not the other animatronics too? Looking at the characters side by side, we see that both Freddy and Monty seem to have a similar build.
Those figures are so amazing. And I'm the type of guy that is collecting figures, like this one. I have no shame on that.
As the night goes on. Maybe
figures are freaking
that
amazing.
is by unlocking new abilities from the animatronics themselves. We see in the gameplay trailer that Monty is able to break through locked chain link fences. Maybe instead of him using that ability to chase us, it's us inside of him using it to access new parts of the park. Kind of like Zelda, except, you know, animatronic murder themed. Like I said, a bit of a long shot,
do
but
that?
admittedly it'd be a pretty interesting gameplay mechanic that kind of aligns with stuff that we think we know about this new title, so just saying. However,
those textures look very clean, by the way.
Where we see a shattered version of Glamrock Chica abandoned in what's labeled the sewer. And while that alone alludes to some darker sections of the game, it's how she's
the sewer. The name alone is so intimidating, menacing.
No, and as anyone who's been on this 6-year ride alongside me might remember, Chica missing her beak in this series is a big deal. Way back in the days of FNAF 4, Scott went out of his way to draw our attention to Toy Chica missing her beak.
So, completely out of nowhere, Scott emailed me saying, clue. During the minigames in FNAF 4, why would the tiny Toy Chica be missing her beak?
Oh my gosh, and even in the asset you see Chica's beak lying on the ground. Wow, so many memories coming back from that one. Oh, that was such a cool story.
Holy shoot.
Anyway,
don't tell me he planned all of this since FNAF 4.
There's a tiny Toy Chica.
We said it at the same time, FNAF 4.
Which itself is a reference to way back in FNAF 2, where the new version of Chica at the time, dubbed Toy Chica, would lose her beak when she went on the attack. So to see Glamrock missing her beak,
I never noticed that!
That
holy shoot, Matt
a reskinned version of the toy animatronic dating back to FNAF 2. And while that might seem like a leap in logic, the closer you look, the more this seems to be the case. Look,
I'm so shocked right now.
Eye size,
that is so weird where I noticed that.
And Glamrock Chica.
Holy shoot, I was never expecting this.
If we're truly getting old school with it, let's count fingers and toes, friends. 4 fingers and 3 toes on Glamrock Chica. Just like the 4 fingers and 3 toes on Toy Chica, which, mind you, is not the same as every other iteration of Chica. Even the material that she's made out of appears to be the same. That hardened, glossy outer shell that would crack and shatter rather than rip or tear or mold like you see with the other old versions of the animatronics.
They're made out of plastic, I think.
Even more proof? Remember how I said that Foxy isn't present in this game yet? Well, you know the only animatronic without a toy version? Foxy. It was true in FNAF 2.
Man, the old
it was true
the school images in the 80s or 60s looked very depressing to look at.
Here again, if these are indeed reskinned toy animatronics, there's no toy Foxy. Follow the missing Foxy, my friends. Follow the Foxy. Now, why would this matter?
Let's follow him, okay.
It actually matters a lot.
Hey, we do care.
If you remember back that far, the toy animatronics are actually meant to be friendlies to children. You don't have to take my word for it. Let's listen to another blast from the past explain it.
They've spent a small fortune on these new animatronics. Facial recognition, advanced mobility, they're all tied into some kind of criminal database so they can detect a predator a mile away. Someone may have tampered with their facial recognition.
What did he mean with predator? I hope he meant with animal predator, not the other one.
With the kids just fine, but when they encounter an adult, they just stare.
They interact with kids just fine. The
but
reason they attack us in the game is that we're an adult. A security guard that looks an awful lot like William Afton. But kids are fine. Again, if Security Breach is all about animatronics helping Gregory against the threat of Vanny, this makes perfect lore sense. Gregory is a kid. The toy animatronics are designed to protect kids. Coincidence? I think not.
Aren't all animatronics supposed to be nice to kids?
Foxy and the lore connections, I think that this one might just be a slam dunk. But hey, that's just a
No. Where are the other theories?
Of the day,
Yes! Two more, baby.
Theory number 2,
thank you,
Elizabeth Afton is the real
And he
villain.
didn't make that
Over
many
in
corny
Bookland,
jokes,
things
so
are
thank you very much.
getting
What the
weird.
frick?
Elizabeth Afton is the real villain. Over in
Really?
Bookland, things are getting weird. Which, you know, when it comes to a series where a rotting flesh suit filled with robot spaghetti is normal, is saying a lot.
What the frick? Let me quickly check my camera. Guys and girls.
Baby rabbit in the next mini theory, but first, I wanted to touch on a security breach theory that I've been banging on for about a month now. The fact that we'll need to redeem Vanny the killer for some sort of good ending in this game. I feel like the evidence for this has been pretty convincing thus far.
Good ending, huh?
Called a reluctant
I hope there are more than 2 endings. That would be so cool. And the wait would be so worth it.
A series of emails from a character named Ness, as in Vanessa, Vanny, actively searching for such contradictory terms as help and how to induce compliance in human subjects, indicating Glitch Trap's control over her is not complete and she's trying to escape his grasp. There's more, but I've covered all
that was
much
freaking
more
messed
detail
up.
in the previous theory. Suffice it to say,
Disturbing
I feel good about
as
that theory
heck.
as it applies to security breach. But now we're getting even more evidence from outside of the games via the most recent Fazbear Frights book, The Cliffs. At this point, we're at book number 7, so you're probably aware of how these things work. 3 short horror stories set in various corners of the FNAF universe, followed by an epilogue that continues an ongoing narrative about a creature named the Stitch Wraith, with Scott telling us that details from these stories will give clarity to the lore of the games. So what's new this
There's
month?
so much lore, man. Scott. This guy is a genius.
William Afton, having just spontaneously exploded his body in a previous story, now possesses a bunch of trash and machine parts. He's basically acting like
it's way too far stretched, but whatever.
Around him to create, no joke,
I just want disturbingness. I love disturbingness. If it's done well.
The book calls the Afton amalgamation. And if you
what
think
the
that
frick?
sounds weird, yes. Now I am not gonna sit here and say that we will
Afton is freaking immortal,
be
huh?
forced to fight a giant trash bunny possessed by a serial killer. No, the reason I bring Trash Afton up is that what he does in the book seems relevant to our ongoing Vanny theory. Quote again, the problem was that when the trash monster stabbed the detective, it infected him with the spirit of the horrible man who animated it. For sure, Afton's spirit would fill the detective with evil.
That is more far-fetched than we've ever heard of.
Bullshit.
Get the infection out. Afton, at this point in the lore, is just an infection, a virus that needs to be extracted in order to save the host's body, and it can be transferred just by a touch or a small wound. And so yet again, we get even more evidence for innocent people getting Afton infused into their bodies and needing to be cleansed, just like I've been predicting with Vanny this whole time. But there's another reason that I want to talk about
Vanny, man.
Sure, the main action of the story is focused around our heroic detective teaming up with a Stitch Wraith to use the screaming mask of the puppet to destroy the giant Afton trash bunny, which is every bit a fever dream insane as it sounds. But while all of this chaos is going on, there's someone else running around controlling things behind the scenes. Baby. Throughout the battle, we continuously catch short glimpses of a long-necked female animatronic. This, my friends, is
that is so disturbing, this image. It's so disturbing. It's so... I don't even...
Start using the puppet mask against it, at which point she pieces out.
Long-necked female animatronic?
After she leaves, that Afton loses. We get
gives me the chills whenever I see her. And remember her story.
Quote, the awful man's spirit wasn't as powerful as it had pretended to be. Afton's spirit was barely hanging on to this reality. Something besides Afton had been controlling the trash rabbit, and whatever it was worse. The real threat here wasn't Afton at all, it was Baby. She's the one at the end of the story who escapes to fight another day. She's the one who leaves the cliffhanger, and that, my friends, is weird. Let me explain myself. I think everyone, Scott included based on his Reddit posts, was surprised when Security Breach didn't come out last year. And just like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, when you have an elaborate connected lore, release dates lining up matters a lot. Except for one problem. When the ship is already sailing and there are so many companies and moving pieces and agreements involved, changing launch dates becomes really hard and potentially really expensive. To my knowledge, the book release dates never really shifted despite the game getting delayed. So could this epilogue be a preview of what's coming after Security Breach? Think about it. In the Stitch Wraith story, Afton is doing what we expect him to do in Security Breach. He's acting like a virus infecting someone, in this case Vanny, who then needs to be cleansed. But then Fazbear Frights effectively ends Afton's story. It outright calls him weak. He's defeated by the mask, and it sets up Baby to become the ongoing big bad moving forward. What I'm saying is that what if this book was supposed to come after Security Breach had been released? But now, because of the game's delay, we're getting a preview of what it's setting up moving forward. In the trailer for Security Breach, we get this line.
There is more going on here than you realize.
Maybe there really are some new tricks up this game's sleeve. But what
hopefully,
could maybe be working on
I'm all
forward?
in for it.
Well, for that, it's time to talk about theory number 3.
Let's go. Freaking ass. You gotta ruin everything, don't you? By the way, I can't talk that much in these viewers because they're so story-packed. If I say anything, I would miss the lore.
Matt Pat's final thought. Or final theory, I suppose. Man, those were really cringy for those, like, first couple episodes. Why did I think that was a good idea? Anyway, I'll keep this one a bit shorter since
he had final thoughts?
Basically, at this point, we've got ourselves 21 short stories in
Hold up, what was the first theory?
Theory number 3, the Body Snatchers. And now it's time.
Body Snatchers?
So they cover everything from haunted animals to killer dolls to deadly video games. But there's one consistent theme across a shocking number of these stories. Body snatching. In book number 1, we have To Be Beautiful, where Baby steals a human girl's body piece by piece so she can take over
so
her
disturbing.
identity. In book number 2, we have Lonely Freddy, where
that
a
was
boy
book
is
number
lured to
1?
the back
The
of a
disturbing
Freddy
one?
Fazbear's Pizzeria and mind swapped into a Freddy doll so the animatronic AI can go out into the real world posing as him. In book number 3,
I like that
we
story.
have Room for
In
One
fact, I love
More,
all
where
the
mini
stories.
Rinas shove
Good
themselves
on
into
you,
security guard's
Scott.
stomach so they can escape out into the surface world. A very direct parallel to the sister location ending. Book number 5 has In the Flesh, where... Fine, I'll talk about this one. A male game designer, after a series of events, literally gives birth to a physical form of glitch trap by slicing him out of his own impregnated stomach. And of course, the game designer is named Matt. The guy is also a supreme jerk to everyone else throughout the story. So thanks a lot, Scott. Very subtle. Didn't know you felt that level of hostility toward me.
What was he smoking when he came up with that?
Scott,
man.
Or outright posing as their identity. And last, but probably most explicitly, is the latest story, He Told Me Everything, in which, and I'm gonna tell you what happens in the story, and you're not gonna believe me, but this is what happens in this story. A cult-like science club experiments using a substance called Faz-goo. The experiment involves the students pulling out one of their own teeth and feeding it to the goo, which then connects a gooey tendril to their finger. We eventually learn that the goo is draining the students' organs and bones in order to grow into a perfect clone of the original host. It is odd, and it really feels like it's pushing the limits of what can and can't exist in the FNAF universe.
As soon as I heard the word teeth, I knew this was going somewhere absurd.
Enormous number of installments and is in constant need of new content. Absolutely, but it is the strongest recurring theme in the book series, and one that, when coupled with the Afton infection concept, seems like it could very well be the next logical step for the games. Think of it like prop hunt for FNAF. Who's real and who isn't? You don't know. You gotta figure it out. We've exhausted what one killer can do,
you gotta use your
why
brain.
not an army of killers? Besides, animatronics posing as real people is already something that Sister Location opened the door to, so if you have the ability to infect the masses, that's a new direction to take things, I guess. I'm just saying, we've had bad animatronics, looks like we'll have good animatronics, we've had people stuffed inside animatronics, we've had animatronics stuffed inside people. Now in the books, we're on a regular basis having animatronics turn into people. So why not an army of AIs inhabiting flesh-stolen suits? And if I'm right, and
that's so far-fetched. That's way too far-fetched.
Forward, seems like the sort of thing that she'd totally be into. Skin suits helped her escape Sister Location. She is literally able to be a body double for the protagonist Charlie in the original novel series. She's not a killer like her dad, she's a copier. A girl who's upset about dying young and losing her humanity.
Oh, that's so much better.
Why not try to regain it back while creating an army of body snatchers to come along with ya? But hey, that's just a theory. 3 game theories. Thanks for watching.
And thank you for the theories. That was very entertaining to watch. So much Five Nights at Freddy's content. So my favorite one out of all the 3 was definitely the first one, because there was just something so shocking to me, that Toy Chica is losing her beak during the jump scare, and that always seemed so weird to me, but I just never was able to point at exactly what made it so weird. But it was her beak missing. Oh my goodness, that was a mind-blowing moment for me. So definitely all the 3 theories are amazing on their own, but the first one just blew my freaking brains out piece by piece. Anyways, guys and girls, so I hope you like this reaction. If you want to see more, let me know in the comment section below. Leave a like, subscribe, and activate the beautiful bell for more high quality edited reactions like this one. And I'll see you guys and girls next time. Take care.
Bravo!